Good morning, everyone. This is Mate Sipper coming to you on this beautiful Tuesday morning. Start the day off by checking the weather. I have a hint, or a sneaking suspicion I already know what the weather is going to be. Clear and sunny, yep, I figured it would be. Tomorrow is the 24th, which is the flower dance. The event will take place in the forest during between 9 a.m. and 2 p.m. Don't be late. Alright, we will do our best, but before... we actually won't be able to dance with anyone, as you can see. So, I believe you have to have 4 hearts with someone in order to dance with them. And the closest person we have to that is actually Haley. I mean, I know Pam's at 3, but she won't dance with us. As much as I love that. So yeah, we'll have to deal with that. Dear Mate, tomorrow we're getting together for the flower dance. If you can find a partner, you might even want to participate in the dance yourself. There's a little clearing beyond the forest west of town where we hold the dance. Arrive between 9 a.m. and 2 p.m. if you're interested. Mayor Lewis. Well, Mr. Lewis, we're interested in going, but we're not going to be interested in dancing. So with that, I'm going to cut up until we get all of our field watered. And I get the things that we're going to do today put in our inventory. Yeah, so until then, I'll see you in a bit. And welcome back, everyone. So my goal today is going to be sell these up here's, except for that one. We're going to give that to Jodi. And we're going to open up some geodes, pick up our pickaxe, and we're going to head to the mines today. Hopefully we can get something worthwhile. We're hoping to get down to floor 50. And so hopefully we can accomplish that today. But we might be able to get some pomegranates going as well. We'll have to see. What you got going on here, Mr. Pierre? Sell that, sell one of those, all of those, and all of those. Nope, not quite enough yet, but that's okay. Let's see if we can run into Jodi before we casually make our way over to Clint's. Let's see, Jodi, where are you at? You in your home? Knock, knock, here I come. Come bringing your dinner. Oh, that looks delicious. Thank you. This is just what I wanted. It's going to be perfect for my yellow curry. You got it, ma'am. $350. Well, not quite enough. Maybe we'll get lucky with the geodes today. We'll be able to... Oops, I did not mean to do that. I wanted to dig in your trash, Miss Emily. See if you threw away anything of interest to me. Maybe a piece of bread. Yeah, I ended up making a bunch of these power bars today, or field snacks. We're gonna need some energy if we get as deep as I'm hoping to get today. Alright, Mr. Clint, what you got going on? Hopefully you don't crush my dreams with these geodes. Piece of copper. A putrefied slime. I know it's petrified. A hat. And an earth geode. Alrighty. Or an earth crystal. So Omni geodes have one of every... they could have anything in them. And it looks like today... oh, well, we got some iridium. Yeah, they don't... with how many items could be in an Omni geode, the odds are exceptionally low that you're going to get something really good. And by really good, I'm speaking of one item in particular we haven't seen yet. Oops. And that item is known as... one second, let me grab all these. Alright, and what's the reward we get? Standing geode. Well, I don't know what I'm going to do with that, but that one item is known as the prismatic shard. I don't usually put this in my house. I usually put it right here. I don't know why, but I guess I like how it looks there. So that's what we will do today as well. So now with our pockets pretty much full, we're going to head on down to the mines and hopefully make it out alive. For those of you who do not know, there is a chance when you die that you lose certain items. It's a random amount of items. And I've noticed that they tend to be like the last 5 you've picked up if the game decides that you lose 5. But I don't know actually how it works. And so to some degree you can actually kind of game the system if what I said actually is how it's calculated. I don't actually know. I've never looked it up. But the Merlin, or Marlin, however you want to say his name, he actually runs a service that he'll go down and pick up the items that you drop in the mines for you for a fee depending on what the item cost and how much of it you lost. So I don't mean that the price is elastic based on how many you lost. I mean like it's based on the item you lost and then that amount multiplied by the amount of items that there are. So that is something to look into. If you do happen to lose a bunch of things in the caves, wow. Don't even know what I was trying to say there. Being assaulted on all sides here by these bats. These slimes here with the star, they have a lot of health and they usually have an item drop. I've noticed it tends to, well, as you can see, a magnet ring. So this magnet ring is better than the ones we have. We're gonna just do that real quick. Let's go and explore a little bit. Maybe we'll get lucky. Find some items we don't have yet. Don't really see the need in fighting you idiots. We will want to fight these, they're called death sprites. They have a very rare drop of a coffee bean, which is a crop that grows in the summer and the spring. And if you can get one growing, then you're going to be set for a long time. Otherwise, you can buy it at the traveling cart for usually like 1,000. It tends to be pretty expensive. So I prefer to get it through them. There are a few other ways you can get it. Like you can actually luckily fish one up in the chest. You can also get them as a random drop from some other things later on. And what's it called? There might be another way you can get it. I'm not entirely sure. Like someone might just send you them, but I'm not sure. But it is an item that everyone really likes. Not because you can make coffee, but because you can use the coffee you make to make another item called triple shot espresso, which lasts longer than the coffee. And it stacks with another item, with any food item, so you can get going really fast. And if you have a horse, it stacks with the speed bonus you get from the horse as well. Meaning that you can get going really quickly in this game if you manage to get all 3 of the speed buffs. I am just gonna top up my health more than my energy right now. A little concerned. Sorry about that. So with my editing setup that I have, I sit next to a window. The window's always closed. But once again, where I live, there tends to be a lot of people that do not have mufflers on their vehicles. And so it increases the amount of sound that comes through. I don't really have a way to remedy this, just because of the setup of, well, our apartment. So I apologize. These floors here are kind of interesting. They're like the mushroom floors that I mentioned in the fact that they... Actually, I don't know if I've talked about the mushroom floors, but how these floors work is remove all the enemies in the room. It's kind of a defeat all enemies situation to advance. And when you do that, they'll drop a staircase. So these floors, if I were to come back tomorrow, on floor 48, I would have the same floor. Not to say, like, slime's in the exact same spot, but, like, I'd have a defeat all enemies floor to advance to get to floor 49, because every day, these floors actually will go up one floor until they reach a multiple of 5. So yeah, tomorrow on floor 48, if I wanted to fight a whole bunch of slimes, or bats, or potentially other items or enemies in this game, I could do that. It's just a matter of coming back into the dungeon at floor 45 and making it back down to this depth. Fighting these guys is kind of a pain. I don't really like slimes, and I will stand by saying that I believe slimes are probably one of the hardest enemies in this game for an unnecessary reason. And the reason is because they inflict a status ailment. That right there, where you turn green. And so what that does is it slows you down and makes it so you can't dodge these guys. And there's a chance that every hit will inflict that. I don't know what the odds are. I just know that it does happen. And on top of that, when you get a bunch of them jumping on you with a weak weapon like me, like what I currently have, and you can't get them backed into a wall, they just do a ton of damage that you can't really avoid very easily. But it does get easier once you get, once again, a better weapon. I don't really like the swords in this game. I think that they're way too weak. And I think that's by design. But yeah, in my opinion, the swords are way too weak. I actually prefer the hammer weapon in this game, because it has an ability that gets everyone off of you if they get too close to you, and it's just really useful. So like the sword gives you this block, but the block doesn't always work the best, I guess. Especially against slimes, it doesn't really work. It just stops them inside of you. And it can kind of get to be annoying. So these Tundra boots, you'll notice, they're slightly better than these boots in the fact that they offer 1 more defense and 1 more immunity, or they don't offer 1 more immunity, but they offer 2 defense and 1 immunity. So defense is the amount of damage that you take. Immunity is the amount, or the chance that a status has to hit you. Meaning that maybe it was slightly less likely that I would have gotten that green effect that I had gotten if I had slightly more immunity. But it's not really that useful, I've noticed. This game doesn't really have builds per se. And if it did, I don't think anyone would ever like use a ton of immunity in the game. Just because it's not really the most effective, I guess. There's very few enemies that actually cause status ailments, and one of them being, well, the slimes. And once you defeat, I think it's 999, but it might be 999, or 9,999. You actually get an item that negates slime damage entirely. Meaning that you can make slimes completely irrelevant. And we're not really trying to get that item per se, but I mean, sorry, I take that back. I am not removing these slimes to get that item. But in order to get the summit, we actually do have to get all the Save the Valley quests done. Which will require us eventually getting rid of all the slimes. Now, I'm not going to go out of my way to fight every slime I see. That'd be kind of silly. And I already know for a fact that there are going to be days that you guys will not be able to see because they're just going to be spent with me down here grinding. Unless you guys want to see me grind up some of them, let me know. I mean, there's just certain, I don't know, certain aspects of this challenge that become rather grindy later on, and that happens to be one of them. Not with the slimes per se, but like with these death sprites. Oh my gosh, get off me. This is why I prefer the hammer. I'm gonna eat this real quick. Eat that. Sorry, I'm just clicking as fast as I can so I don't fall here. I prefer not to fall in battle to a bunch of slimes. It is possible that it could happen though. As I said, they're by far one of my least favorite enemies. And with this kind of a sword, I am kind of under prepared for this floor. Oh my gosh, get out of here. Like these ghosts, for instance. They have a drop that we're going to want for the community center. They actually have 3 drops we want for the community center. They have gold, and they have ghost fish, and they have, oh my gosh, back off, solar essences. So fighting these ghosts is actually not a bad idea right now. I might actually flee this if I can't get this slime. Okay, the bat's gone. Alright, now it's just you, Mr. Ghost. But yeah, you don't do a lot of damage to the ghost at all. Even like my crits are only doing like 7 damage to him. And they are obnoxious because they get stuck in walls, they get close to you, and when they hit you, they disappear and appear who knows where. So they're kind of annoying to deal with, but as I said, we do need to fight them because they drop that, which is something we're going to need for the community center. I think with that, actually, you know what? We're going to say screw it. We're going to try to get to floor 55, and then we'll pass out, probably in the mines. If we do that, we made it to the next floor. We're that much closer to floor 60. And the penalty's not that bad. We'll lose 10% of our money, so 50 for 573 gold pieces, so it's not as big of a deal. Now what we don't want is we don't want to lose to an enemy. Alright, so with that, yeah, falling to an enemy is by far the worst. Just to explain it, it'll make you randomly drop certain items out of your pocket. So yeah, do not do that. And we leveled up in farming. We leveled up in combat. And with that, we have been moved to our bed. So, this has been Mate Sipper, signing off and wishing you a good rest of your day. Bye.